Ladies and gentlemen, dear friend, I can only express my regrets for not being able to be with you today, but technology helps me to present to the statement on the nexus between democracy and culture, which is one of the core missions of the Democracy and Culture Foundation, as well as to share some of my thoughts in my capacity as a former Director General of UNESCO. The statement expresses the deep belief that culture acts as catalyst for economic and social development. And indeed, it is for the first time recognized as such in the Agenda for Sustainable Development 2030, adopted by the United Nations in 2015. As the statement points out in its opening line, and I quote, "Culture embraces diversity. Diversity respects and promotes inclusiveness. Inclusiveness strengthens democracy." There are important intersections between arts and culture, human rights and social justice. The 2005 UNESCO Convention on the Protection and Promotion of Diversity of Cultural Expressions puts forward that, and I quote, "Cultural diversity can be protected only if human rights and fundamental freedoms, such as freedom of expression, information and communication, as well as the ability of individuals to have access to diverse cultural expressions, are guaranteed." Indeed, the statement goes on to emphasize, culture transcends and determines our way of life. It informs and educates, encourages self-expression, promotes critical thinking and informed decision-making, galvanizing thus citizens' engagement so vital for democracy. I'm happy to see during the last decade how culture is coming more into the forefront of the global agenda. The destruction of cultural heritage and what I called at the time cultural cleansing by extremists in the Middle East, accompanied by mass atrocities and denial of respect for diversity, shocked humanity profoundly and made us revisit our relations with history, identity, and common values. On the other hand, the technological revolution in its disruptive impact puts us in front of another challenge: how to ensure widest possible dissemination of culture and arts, promoting the role of the artists while resisting to hate speech, racism, and xenophobia, among others, that denote the fundamental prerequisites of democracy, the right of everyone to participate in debate as free and equal individuals. There are many encouraging recent developments. The Rome Declaration of the G20 meeting of the Ministers of Culture, adopted in July this year, that met for the first time, and I quote, "affirmed culture's transformative role in sustainable development, helping address economic, social, and ecological pressures and needs." The declaration called also for the full recognition and integration of culture and the creative economy into development processes and policies, involving all levels of societies, including local communities, and encouraged governments to recognize culture and creativity as an integral part of a wider policy framework, such as social cohesion, employment, innovation, health and well-being, environment, sustainable local development, and human rights. This is particularly important today when humanity confronts the challenges of rebuilding a post-pandemic world to be more inclusive, just, green, and resilient. This cannot be done without culture and both citizens' awareness and engagement. As our statement on the nexus between democracy and culture reminds us, science-based information is essential for building better as well as for the ethical system of humanism. This brings me to the important topic also touched upon in the Nexus document, the Nexus statement, on teaching humanities, which I have been a strong advocate during my tenure at UNESCO. It is indeed through humanities, unfortunately neglected for a long time, that we understand the social transformation of our societies and the way to manage it for the benefit of all. It is once again through humanities that we understand better the challenges of globalization. And it is through humanities that we can understand and embrace cultural diversity as a strength and not as a threat. It is once again through humanities that we can foster new global citizens in an era of diversity and disruptiveness. And last but not least, it is through humanities that we can understand and find the right answers to the challenges of how to bridge the gap of inequalities. Teaching philosophy or history or arts is fundamental for the opening of young minds towards the diversity and the other. It is the constant challenge of the present that can make one imagining and reinventing the future. A book, an object of art, a lesson of history or philosophy may change the perception of the world, may instill empathy and the sense of belonging. Knowing one's history, culture, and heritage creates a sense of belonging. Knowing others' history, culture, and heritage creates a sense of sharing and solidarity. As the American historian Drew Faust, the first woman to serve as president of Harvard University for more than 10 years, who was a passionate defender of teaching humanities, famously said, and I quote, "How can we create minds capable of innovation if they're unable to imagine a world different from the one in which we live now? History teaches contingency. It demonstrates that the world has been different and could and will be different again. Anthropology can show that societies are and have been different elsewhere, across space as well as time. Literature can teach us many things, but not the least of these is empathy. How to picture ourselves inside another person's head, life, experience, identity. How to see the world through a different lens, which is what the study of arts offers as well." End of quote. And I would add at the end of my remarks, culture is our only safe harbor. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you a very fruitful meetings and deliberations.